Close your eyes, and let us drift together into the forgotten past. In the hush of night, we will walk through temples of stone lit by oil lamps that never fade. We will listen to the stories of divine women, goddesses, priestesses, and mothers of mystery, whose gentle power shaped the ancient world. Each tale is a soft lantern in the dark, guiding your spirit into calm waters. Their voices, though carried across thousands of years, still whisper peace into the restless heart. Tonight, we let these sacred women soothe the soul and quiet the mind. If this journey helps you rest, you are welcome to subscribe and walk with us again. You may also share in the comments where you are listening from so that our circle of calm can stretch across the world. Breathe gently now. The night is soft around you. Imagine a world long ago, before cities, before temples, before the written word. The air is cool, touched by firelight and the quiet rustle of leaves. A small flame glows in a cave. Its light flickers across the walls where ancient hands have painted shapes of life. Animals, stars, and circles. Simple forms that tell a deep truth. In that glow, humankind first whispered of the Mother. She was not far away. She was not a distant figure in the sky. She was the earth beneath their feet. She was the stone that sheltered them, the river that quenched their thirst, the dark soil that gave birth to plants. The Mother was all around. The Mother was within. Listen now, as the soft wind carries us back to those early days. A tribe gathers at the edge of dawn. The sky is pale and endless, the stars still shining faintly like pearls fading into the horizon. A child is born, and the people give thanks, not to a throne in the heavens, but to the earth herself. They place flowers in the soil. They press their hands to the ground, whispering gratitude. They feel her heartbeat under their palms. The first divine mothers were not carved of stone or cast in bronze. They lived in the soil, in the rain, in the cycle of life. Every birth was her gift. Every death was her return. The people knew that when they lay down their bodies, the Mother would embrace them once again, covering them in roots, in grass, in silence. Now imagine, the firelight dims and you walk deeper into the cave. There on the wall you see her figure, rounded, full, painted with care. The Mother's body is drawn not with sharp lines but with curves, soft and flowing, as if she herself were water. This image is not one person. It is a symbol. It is the memory of life, of safety, of nourishment. The people carried these images in small stones and carvings, little figures, smooth and warm in the hand, shaped like the fertile body of the Mother. They tucked them into baskets, into beds of straw, into graves. To touch the figure was to touch comfort. To hold her was to believe that life would continue. Close your eyes and see it. A woman of the tribe kneels by the fire, holding a small stone figure in her hands. The stone is cool, yet it seems alive with meaning. She whispers a prayer, not in words we know, but in the rhythm of breath, of heart, of silence. The people feel safe in her presence, as though the Mother listens. And so the earliest prayers were not for power, not for conquest, not for wealth. They were for the simple things, the growing of crops, the health of children, the return of the sun after winter's long night. The Mother was the first temple. Her body was the land itself. Her arms were the mountains. Her breath was the wind. Her milk was the river that flowed across the valleys. Let your mind rest in that vision. A wide, green plain under a sky of drifting clouds. Children play near a stream, their laughter like soft bells. Women gather herbs, singing in gentle voices. Men walk slowly, carrying the day's hunt. All pause for a moment, bowing their heads to the ground, honoring the Mother of all. The rhythm of life moved like a circle. Day became night, winter became spring. Seeds fell into the earth, and plants rose again. Every cycle was her teaching. Every cycle was her promise. You drift now into another image. A stone circle, wide and silent under the stars. Torches burn softly at its edges, and figures move slowly around the fire. They chant, not in words you must understand, but in tones that echo like waves. It is a song of the Mother. It is a lullaby sung by countless generations. Even now, if you listen, you can hear its hum in the wind outside your window. The Divine Mother was not only earth, she was also moon. In her cycles, the people saw the same rhythm of life and death. She grew full and round, glowing with gentle light. Then she faded, disappeared only to return again. The people understood. Nothing truly ends. Everything returns. Everything is held in her embrace. Picture the night sky above an ancient field. The stars glitter like silver dust. the moon heavy with light. A group of women sit in a circle, weaving baskets. As they work, they sing to the moon, their voices soft and slow. They know she is the mother above, watching, guiding, shining over their sleep. The earth below, the moon above, the womb within, all became sacred mirrors of the same truth. The mother was eternal. She gave, and she received. She held both joy and sorrow, both laughter and tears. Time drifted on. Villages grew. Fields spread wide. People began to build temples of stone. But even within the walls of these temples, the mother remained. Her image carved in pillars, her symbols etched in clay, her name whispered in songs. Always she was there, the one who nurtures. Let your breath soften. Feel the mother beneath you now. The bed that cradles you is part of her. The air that cools your skin is her breath. The rhythm of your heartbeat is the echo of her timeless song. And so the story rests here. The first dawn of divine mothers was not a single figure, but the awakening of memory. A people looking at the land, the sky, the birth of children, and feeling love. Love so deep that it became holy. Love so lasting that it still reaches us tonight. The cave flickers. The moon fades. The circle of women sings into silence. The fire burns low. You drift with them now, carried by the mother herself. Her arms are soft earth. Her breath is the night air. Her heart is the steady rhythm of stars turning above. Rest then in her embrace. Rest as the first people did under sky and stone. Rest as the ancient mothers watched and guarded. Rest and know you are safe. The dawn of divine mothers is not far away. It is here now in every breath, in every heartbeat. Let the night hold you. Let the earth cradle you. Let the stars whisper above you. Now drift onward, gently. The story continues. But for now the mother keeps you. The night grows deeper now. The stars are steady above, like watchful eyes in the sky. A soft breeze drifts across the desert, carrying the cool scent of sand and stone. The air is still yet alive with memory. Somewhere in the distance, a river glimmers under moonlight. It is the Nile, flowing eternal, whispering secrets through reeds and shadows. It is here that the story of Isis begins. She is the goddess of magic, of love, of mourning, and of endless care. Her image has been carved in temples, painted in tombs, whispered in prayers across centuries. Always she is shown with wings spread wide, wings that shield, wings that comfort, wings that promise protection. Imagine her now, a tall figure draped in linen, glowing faintly in the soft flame of an oil lamp. Her crown rests upon her head, shaped like the throne she represents. Her eyes are calm but filled with endless sorrow and endless strength. She is both mother and magician, healer and mourner. She is the one who never lets go. Long ago, Isis loved her husband, Osiris. He was the king, the one who ruled with kindness, the bringer of order. But darkness entered his story. His brother, filled with envy, sought to end his light. Osiris was struck down, his body broken, his pieces scattered across the land. The world grieved, yet none more than Isis. Her heart shattered, but her devotion did not. With patience deeper than the Nile's waters, she began her search. She walked the sands. She followed the river. She crossed deserts and fields everywhere. She gathered what remained of him. One piece here, one fragment there. Every stone she turned, every prayer she whispered, every tear that fell. All were part of her journey to make him whole again. Imagine her moving through the desert at night. The stars above guide her steps. The moon glows softly, silver on the sand. Her veil trails behind her, whispering like a quiet river of cloth. She searches with love so deep it cannot be broken. Even grief itself bends beneath her will, and at last she gathers him. She lays his broken body upon the earth. She kneels beside him, spreading her wings wide. Her voice rises like the hum of wind through reeds. It is a chant, a spell, a hymn of life. Her words are not sharp, but flowing, gentle, like a mother rocking a child. The sound fills the night. It moves through the air like a soft current, calling life back into what was lost. Slowly, Osiris stirs. His breath returns, faint but real. He cannot stay in the world of the living. His path is now to rule the underworld. But through Isis, his spirit is whole again. Through Isis, death becomes not an end, but a passage. In that moment, Isis conceives a child. Horus, the falcon-headed god, is born of her mourning and her magic. He will grow to protect what is good and right. But tonight, in this quiet story, We rest not in battles or victories. We rest in the soft devotion of Isis, who held together what could have fallen apart. Her wings are still spread, not only over kings, but over every heart in need of comfort. In Egypt, people whispered her name when grief was heavy. They lit lamps before her image when sorrow pressed too hard to bear. They believed she sat beside them in silence, her hand resting gently, her wings surrounding their brokenness. Picture yourself now within a temple. The stone walls are cool, carved with stories of gods and stars. Torches flicker, throwing golden light across painted walls. In the center, a statue of Isis rises. Her face is calm. Her arms open wide. Incense curls upward, sweet and slow. A priestess sings softly, her voice echoing through stone halls. The sound drifts like water, low and soothing, until the air itself seems to hum with peace. You step closer. You kneel. Your eyes close, and you feel the same quiet presence that countless souls once felt. A presence that says, you are not alone. Even in grief you are held. Even in silence you are heard. Isis is not only a figure of mourning, she is also magic itself. Her spells were not fire and thunder, but whispers and breath. Words spoken with care. Herbs gathered with patience. Healing woven in silence. Her magic was not to control, but to restore. It was the magic of love, the deepest force of all. Imagine the Nile flowing beside her. She kneels by its banks, dipping her hands into the water. She lifts her palms, letting drops fall back like pearls. She blesses the river with her touch, and in return, the river blesses the land. Fields will bloom, children will eat, life will return. Her sorrow is real, but it does not consume her. Instead, it becomes the ground in which hope grows. Like a seed buried in darkness, her grief gives rise to new life. From her mourning comes Horus. From her pain comes healing. From her loss comes a love that never fades. In this way, Isis became more than a goddess of Egypt. Her worship spread far beyond the Nile. Sailors called to her when seas grew wild. Mothers prayed to her for their children's safety. Kings and beggars alike whispered her name in times of need. For Isis was not distant. She was close as a mother's hand, as close as the breath upon your lips. Now let your mind soften. See her wings around you, wide and gentle, a shelter of feathers and light. They are not heavy. They are not sharp. They are soft as moonlight, quiet as river water. She whispers nothing hurried, only silence, only calm. You drift within her care, your sorrow, your worry, your restless thoughts. They settle, as dust settles on stone after the wind has passed. Her presence teaches that mourning is not the end. It is a pathway, leading to new light. Her presence teaches that love never leaves. It changes shape, but it remains. The temple fades. The torches grow dim. The river flows on, steady and calm. Above, the stars gleam like silver eyes, watching, blessing. And Isis remains. Her wings unfold across the night, covering all who seek rest. Now let the story close, like a lamp being gently shaded. The chant of Isis softens, turning into the quiet rhythm of your breath. Her wings fold slowly, carefully, as though tucking you in. The desert night sighs, cool and endless, and you rest in her care. Sleep then, as the ancient Egyptians once did, trusting the goddess of mourning and magic. Sleep, under her wings of protection. Sleep, knowing you are safe, held, and remembered. Now drift onward. The story continues, but for now Isis watches over you. The night is still. The stars shimmer above, scattered across a velvet sky. The air is calm, holding the hush of ancient memory. Somewhere far away, a drum beats slowly, steady, like the rhythm of a heart. It is in this quiet that the story begins. The story of Inanna, Queen of Heaven and Goddess of Love. She is radiant, her crown gleaming like starlight, her robe flowing like a river of dawn. She walks with the grace of the morning star, her steps soft upon the earth. But tonight, her path does not lead upward into light. Her journey turns downward, into the shadowed realm beneath. Close your eyes and see her at the threshold. A great gate stands before her, carved of stone, heavy and silent. It is the first door of the underworld. Behind it all is darkness and stillness. Yet Inanna does not falter. She has chosen this path. She will walk it, step by step, no matter what it asks of her. At the gate, a guardian waits. His eyes are dark, his face calm, his voice quiet as the wind. He asks her why she comes, and Inanna, Queen of Heaven, answers with steady breath. I come to see my sister. I come to the land below, but entry into the underworld has a price. Nothing living may pass through its doors without surrender. And so, at the first gate, Inanna removes her crown. The shining symbol of her power is taken from her head. She walks forward, bare of that light. The second gate opens and she gives her necklace. The jewels that once caught the fire of the sun are gone. The third gate, and she gives her bracelets, the rings that circled her arms. The fourth gate, and she lays down her breastplate, the armor of her heart. The fifth gate, and her robe is lifted, the garment of her glory. The sixth gate, and she is stripped of her staff, her sign of command. The seventh gate, the last, and she is left with nothing. No crown, no jewels, no robe, no weapons. Only Inanna herself, bare and unguarded, as she steps into the realm of shadow. Pause here for a moment. Let the image rest within you. Each gate is like a breath. With each breath, something is released. With each breath, another weight falls away. She descends not in pride, but in surrender. The underworld is quiet, vast, and cool. The walls are of stone, damp with silence. The air is still, thick with the weight of time. Here, shadows stretch long and the spirits drift like mist. Inanna moves gently among them, her steps soft, her eyes calm. At last she comes to her sister, Ereshkigal, queen of the underworld. Ereshkigal sits upon her dark throne, her face solemn, her gaze heavy as night. She sees Inanna stripped of all, and for a time there is only silence between them. The silence is deep, almost endless, like the pause between heartbeats. Inanna has given up everything, her crown, her robe, her jewels. She stands naked before death itself. This is the truth of the descent. To enter the darkness, one must be bare. To meet shadow, one must come with nothing, and so Inanna falls. She is struck down. She lies still, silent, her body hung upon a hook of the underworld. The Queen of Heaven has become nothing but shadow. Her light is gone. Her voice is gone. Her breath is gone. Let your breath soften here. The story seems dark, yet it is not the end. Even in the deepest silence, life waits. Even in the coldest shadow, light stirs unseen. For 3 days and nights, Inanna lies still. Above, the world grieves. The rivers slow. The fields wither. The people wait, their hearts heavy. But help is sent. From the heavens, messengers of compassion descend. They do not fight. They do not demand. They come with gentleness, with soft voices, with words of care. They sit beside Ereshkigal, who weeps with pain, queen of shadow though she is. They do not resist her sorrow. They honor it. They hold her grief, listening. And in their presence, something shifts. A door within darkness opens. Ereshkigal, moved by this care, releases Inanna. The Queen of Heaven is lifted. Her body is restored. Her breath returns. Her eyes open once more. She rises, but she does not rise unchanged. She has passed through death, through silence, through surrender. She has been emptied, and now she is reborn. Imagine her ascending now. She walks upward through the gates one by one. At the first, her staff is returned. At the second, her robe. At the third, her breastplate. At the fourth, her bracelets. At the fifth, her necklace. At the sixth, her crown. At the seventh, her throne. Each piece is given back, but it no longer carries the same weight. She is stronger now, not because of the symbol she wears, but because of the journey she has taken. Her descent has taught her what no crown could teach. That true strength is not in holding, but in letting go. That true power is not in resisting, but in surrender. That true life is born only after touching silence. Let this lesson rest in you, like a gentle seed. Every fall you have known carries within it the promise of rising. Every shadow you have walked through has carried within it the memory of light. Every loss has held the whisper of renewal. Now see her again, radiant once more. Her crown gleams, her robe flows like dawn, her wings of starlight unfold. Yet within her eyes there is something new, a softness, a depth, a quiet that comes only from one who has walked through shadow and returned. The people of Sumer sang of this journey in the silence of night. They told of how the goddess went down and how she rose again, and in their telling, they too found comfort. For if even the Queen of Heaven must fall and yet may rise, then so too may every soul who walks the earth. Rest with that thought now, like the Nile flowing steady, like the stars that fade, yet return each night, like the moon that disappears, yet always comes again. Life moves in circles, and each circle carries its promise. The underworld fades, the gates dissolve. The throne of Ereshkigal drifts into shadow, and Inanna stands once more in the starlight of the open sky. Her story lingers, soft as the night breeze. It whispers, "Fall is not the end. Silence is not the end. Death itself is not the end. Now rest. The Queen of Heaven has returned. Her journey is complete, and so your journey of the night may also ease into calm. Let your breath be steady. Let your mind be soft. Let your heart rest. Now drift onward." The story continues. But for now, Inanna's wings of starlight watch over your sleep. The night is calm. Above the mountains of Greece, the sky glows softly with silver stars. The moon hangs low, its light brushing the ridges with pale fire. Cypress trees stand tall and still, their branches swaying only in the gentlest of winds. Somewhere below, water runs quietly, a spring flowing through the rocks, carrying with it the cool breath of the earth. This is Delphi, a place once thought to be the very center of the world. Here in the shadow of Mount Parnassus, a temple rises in silence. Its stones are old, touched by centuries, yet they glow in the night as though they hold within them a secret warmth. The air is fragrant with the smoke of laurel leaves, slowly burning, their scent curling upward into the heavens. At the heart of this temple, there is a chamber, dark, quiet, still. Within it sits the Pythia, the oracle of Apollo. Her body sways gently. Her breath is slow, like the tide of a calm sea. Her eyes are half closed, her lips parting only to whisper words carried from a place beyond. The people who came here would wait in silence. Kings, soldiers, travelers, and poets. They brought their questions, their fears, their hopes. They would kneel in the hush of the temple, waiting for the voice of the god to flow through her. And always, her words came like a stream, sometimes clear, sometimes mysterious, always flowing from a depth unseen. But tonight, there are no kings, no soldiers, no questions of war or empire. Tonight, only the night itself listens. Only the stars, the mountains, and the still air bear witness to her song. The Pythia breathes in the smoke of the laurel, the sweet mist rising from the sacred spring below. Her mind drifts like a leaf upon water. Her voice when it comes is soft, almost like a lullaby. It is not loud. It does not rush. It moves slowly, like wind across tall grass, gentle and steady. Her words tell of balance, of how the earth breathes with the sky, of how the river is never the same yet always the same, of how every step is both new and old, a circle that carries us onward. Listen to her words as if they are for you. They do not command. They do not bind. They only soothe, only guide, like a hand upon the shoulder in darkness. Every journey, she whispers, begins already within you. The path you seek has always been beneath your feet. The answers you long for live quietly in your breath. The chamber glows with the dim light of oil lamps. Shadows flicker upon the walls, stretching like spirits of smoke. The air is heavy, yet calm, wrapping around the listener like a blanket. You can almost hear the sound of her breathing. Slow, even, endless. Outside, the mountains stand watch. Snow rests upon their peaks, white and still beneath the starlight. The spring continues to flow, its waters carrying whispers through the stones. Owls call gently in the distance, their voices soft as the night wind. It is as if all of nature leans in to listen, waiting for her words. The Pythia speaks again. Her voice is low, barely above silence. Do not fear the unknown. The dark is only another form of light. The silence is only another kind of song. What you release returns to you in gentler form. What you lose teaches you how to rise. Her words move like a tide, drawing in, pulling back, leaving peace in their wake. Those who once came to her with heavy hearts would leave lighter, though not always with clear answers. For clarity was never the true gift of the oracle. Her gift was something deeper, a reminder that mystery itself is sacred, that not all paths must be seen at once, that not all questions need to be answered tonight. Let that thought rest within you now. Not all things must be solved. Not all things must be known. Some things live best in mystery, quiet, like seeds beneath the soil, waiting for their time to rise. The Pythia's body sways again, her arms resting loosely by her side. The smoke curls around her like a veil. The chamber seems to breathe with her, in and out, a slow and endless rhythm. She is both here and elsewhere, both body and spirit, both voice and silence. You may imagine yourself there, sitting upon the temple floor, the stone cool beneath your palms, the air sweet with laurel, the flicker of lamp flames painting the walls with shadows, the sound of her whispering reaching you, like water slipping over smooth rock. The words do not demand your mind to grasp them. They are enough simply to hear, to feel, to let drift across your thoughts like clouds across the night sky. She whispers once more. Every heart is a temple. Every breath is a prayer. Every silence is filled with presence. Trust the stillness. Trust the waiting. Trust the quiet path of night. Her voice fades, but its echo remains. Not loud, not forceful, only gentle, like the last chord of a song humming in the air, even after the music has ended. The night deepens. The stars turn slowly in the sky. The temple grows quieter still. The Pythia's head lowers, her eyes close fully, her breath evens into sleep. Even the oracle, vessel of the god, rests now in silence. And so may you. Her words are carried away by the smoke, drifting upward into the open night, joining the stars. They remain woven into the fabric of the dark sky, waiting to return whenever you need them. The chamber dims. The lamps flicker out one by one. The spring continues to sing softly beneath the stone. The mountains remain, timeless and still, and the oracle of Delphi, the Pythia, dissolves into dream. Let us drift onward then. The smoke has faded. The temple sleeps. The stars return, steady and patient, keeping watch. Now rest as the night carries you deeper, and the voice of the oracle whispers on, not in words, but in silence. Night has fallen across the quiet earth. The sky stretches wide, sprinkled with stars that gleam like small fires. The air is still, yet soft winds move across the fields, carrying with them the faint scent of soil, of grass, of hidden seeds waiting beneath the ground. The moon shines like a pale guardian, watching over both sleeping villages and open countryside. In this stillness, the earth itself feels alive, humming quietly in its breathless patience. Let us drift into an ancient story, a story of a mother, a story of a daughter, a story of love that shaped the turning of the seasons. This is the tale of Demeter, goddess of the harvest, and her beloved child Persephone. Demeter was keeper of the earth's plenty. She was the gentle hand that coaxed the grain to grow. She was the warmth in the fields, the ripening of fruit, the fullness of summer. Where her steps touched the soil, flowers rose. Where her smile fell, orchards bent with sweetness. Her love for humanity was vast, for she gave them food, and through food, life itself. At her side was her daughter Persephone, bright, youthful, tender. Her laughter was like water spilling over smooth stone. She walked through meadows with bare feet, gathering blossoms into her hands. The world adored her. The earth seemed greener where she stood, and Demeter's heart was whole, for she had her daughter's presence always close, like sunlight beside her. But the earth holds many mysteries, both gentle and shadowed. One day, as Persephone wandered across a meadow filled with flowers, she bent to pluck a bloom. The ground beneath her trembled. The soil cracked open, and from the dark below rose Hades, lord of the underworld. His chariot glimmered black as obsidian, his steeds snorting smoke. Before Persephone could cry out, he swept her into his arms and carried her into the depths of his shadowed realm. The meadow grew still. The flower she dropped fell upon the earth, its petals trembling, and silence covered the field, as though it had never known her footsteps. When Demeter discovered her daughter gone, her heart broke like glass. She searched the earth with frantic steps. She called her name into valleys, into forests, into the wide sky. But no answer came. Her voice grew hoarse, her face weary with sorrow. She left her golden fields untended. The grain withered. The fruit fell before ripening. The orchards emptied, the meadows browned. Her grief spread across the world, and the earth itself grew barren. The gods of Olympus watched as famine touched humankind. But Demeter would not relent. "No harvest will grow," she vowed softly, "until my daughter returns to me." Her tears fell into the soil, and nothing rose from it. Persephone, meanwhile, sat in the underworld's halls. Hades, though stern, offered her a throne, a crown of shadowed jewels and endless quiet. But Persephone's eyes longed for light. Her hands longed for the blossoms of the meadow. Her heart longed for her mother. Though the underworld was vast, she felt small, a flower pressed between heavy stones. The gods pitied Demeter's grief, for the earth was dying under her sorrow. Messengers were sent. Even mighty Zeus, king of the sky, sought to bring peace. It was agreed that Persephone might return, but only if she had not eaten the food of the dead. for those who tasted it belonged forever to the realm of Hades. But Persephone, in her hunger and longing, had placed to her lips 6 seeds of the pomegranate, red as blood, sweet as longing. And so a bond was made, not whole but unbreakable. She could not remain above forever, nor could she be lost below for all time. A balance was woven. It was decided Persephone would return to her mother for part of the year to walk again upon the green fields, and for the other part she would descend once more to the shadowed throne, queen beside Hades in the stillness of the underworld. When Demeter held her daughter again, the earth blossomed as if awakened from sleep. Grain lifted golden heads. Flowers opened their tender faces to the sun. The orchard swayed heavy with fruit. The people sang songs of relief, of gratitude, of life returned. But Demeter knew her joy was temporary. Each year, Persephone would depart again, and grief would draw winter's cloak across the world. Yet with her return, spring would rise once more. And so the cycle was born. When Persephone walks with her mother, the earth is alive, clothed in warmth, in bloom, in plenty. When she descends, the world grows bare, the fields sleep, the air chills, and the soil wades. Winter is Demeter's mourning, and spring her joy. Summer is their embrace, and autumn their farewell. This story is not only of gods. It is of the rhythm of life itself. Every loss carries within it the seed of return. Every silence hides the promise of song. Every winter shelters the roots of spring. Close your eyes and imagine the fields. In winter they are silent. Snow folds over the soil like a blanket. The trees stand bare, branches etched against the sky. It seems nothing lives, yet beneath seeds wait. They sleep, but they do not vanish. They rest, cradled by the earth, patient until warmth comes again. Now see the same fields in spring. The snow has melted. The soil breathes again. Green shoots press upward, breaking through. Flowers turn toward the sun, their colors like soft flames. The air smells of life renewed, of blossoms, of rain upon fresh earth. This is Persephone's return and Demeter's joy. The cycle continues, slow and endless.
Birth, loss, return.
Light, shadow, light again. It is the breath of the world, in and out, day and night. Winter and spring, a circle that never breaks. Let this story rest within you now. If you feel sorrow, know it is not forever. If you feel loss, know that something still waits to rise again. The heart, like the soil, holds seeds of renewal. They may be hidden, quiet, unseen, but they wait, patient and sure, until the time comes for them to bloom. Demeter still walks the fields, though unseen. Persephone still rises each spring. Their story is alive in every blossom, every stalk of grain, every cycle of season. And in your breath, too, there is this rhythm, the gentle coming and going, the quiet fall and the tender return. Now let the fields grow still in your mind. Let the harvest sleep. Let the snow fall softly once more. Winter rests, but spring will come again. The stars above keep their watch. The moon leans low. The night is gentle, filled with the hush of soil dreaming. And the story of Demeter and Persephone continues, not as a tale long gone, but as a rhythm that cradles the world even now. Let us drift onward. The fields are quiet, the earth at peace, the cycle eternal. Now rest as the stars return, the night is soft. The air holds a golden hush, as though the stars themselves lean close to listen, far away. Desert winds move gently across dunes, brushing them like the slow stroke of a harp. The sand glows pale under the moonlight, rippling as though the earth itself breathes. Here at the edge of the Nile, still waters mirror the sky. Palm trees sway quietly, their shadows long and calm. It is a place between silence and song. And in this sacred stillness, the story of Hathor begins to unfold. She was called the Lady of Joy, the mistress of music, the gentle one who healed hearts. To the ancient people of the Nile, she was not distant, not severe. She was warmth. She was comfort. She was the soft hand that soothed a restless soul. Her temples stood with wide pillars, carved to resemble blooming lotus and papyrus. On their crowns were the faces of the goddess herself, smiling with a quiet joy. The air within was cool and fragrant. Offerings of flowers, milk, and honey filled the chambers with sweetness. And above, the roof was painted deep blue, scattered with golden stars. It was as though one stood not inside stone walls, but inside the night sky itself. When the priests sang to her, it was not in tones of fear, but in songs of welcome. The rattle of the sistrum echoed, a shimmering sound like sunlight caught in silver. It was said that when the sistrum was shaken, sorrow fled and laughter returned. For Hathor was joy, and her presence was a balm to every weary heart. She was the goddess of music and dance, but she was also the goddess of tenderness. The ancients told that she welcomed the dead into the next life with kindness, offering them cool water, soft words, and rest after long journeys. Even those who feared judgment found comfort in her. For in her gaze there was no cruelty, only a smile that said, "You are safe now. You are home." Her image was often carved with the horns of a sacred cow, cradling the golden sun disk between them. The cow, gentle and nourishing, spoke of motherhood and care. The sun, bright and eternal, spoke of light that never faded. Together, they told a truth. Love carries warmth into even the darkest corners. In the old stories, when hearts were heavy, people would lift their faces to the sky and whisper her name, Hathor, and they felt lighter. Her presence was like cool shade after a burning day, or laughter shared by friends at twilight. She was not only a goddess to worship, but a companion to hold in memory whenever the world felt too hard. The desert itself seemed to soften in her name. Imagine walking through endless sands, the sun fierce and unyielding. Every step feels long, every breath dry. But then, in the distance, rises the sound of gentle drums, a rhythm steady as the heart. And there, by the waters of the Nile, dancers move in circles, their hands lifting, their feet brushing the earth as lightly as swallows in flight. Their movements are not hurried, but flowing, like the river itself. This was her gift, to turn hardship into rhythm, to turn sorrow into song. It was said that when children laughed, Hathor's spirit danced among them. When lovers embraced, her golden light wrapped them. And when the lonely gazed at the stars, she leaned close, whispering comfort. For to her, love was not only romance, it was the kindness shared between strangers, the smile offered to the weary, the joy of sitting together in silence. One story tells of a time when the world fell into shadow. Anger had spread, and the people feared the gods' wrath. But Hathor, seeing their trembling hearts, came forth not with thunder, but with song. She sang and the world softened. She laughed, and the people remembered laughter within themselves. Her dance was not wild, but flowing, a gentle movement, like the swaying of reeds along the river. And in her steps balance returned. She was also known as the Lady of Turquoise, for in the Sinai Mountains, turquoise stones were mined, their blue-green glow like water and sky woven together. These gems were sacred to her, their calm beauty reflecting her nature. When people wore turquoise amulets, they believed they carried Hathor's smile with them. A charm of serenity, a reminder that beauty and peace walk side by side. Hathor's temples often stood where music was heard. The sistrum rattled softly, harps hummed with delicate strings, drums kept a low, steady heartbeat. All sounds mingled together, like voices blending in harmony. Worship was not solemn silence alone. It was laughter, dancing feet, the joy of being alive under the sun, and so her name became woven with joy itself. Picture her now, in the golden light of dawn. Her figure draped in flowing linen, her face serene and kind. Around her neck hangs a manet, a necklace of beads whose sound is soft and soothing when shaken. In her hands she carries music. In her eyes endless patience. And when she looks upon the world, it is with the gaze of a mother watching her child rest. Yet she was not only a mother. She was a guide for wanderers. The weary traveler crossing deserts found her at oases, where palms bent low and cool waters sparkled. Her presence turned loneliness into companionship, fatigue into calm. The road was long, but with Hathor, the road was softened. There is a peace that comes not from silence, but from the gentle hum of life around you. The murmur of the river, the laughter of companions, the rhythm of a song carried on the wind. This was her gift, not to silence the world, but to fill it with a music that eased the heart. The ancients believed that even in the afterlife, Hathor greeted souls with open arms. She offered them drink from her sacred sycamore tree, a tree whose roots touched the waters of eternity. Beneath its branches travelers rested. Its shade was cool, its fruit sweet. And from Hathor's hands, the weary dead received their first taste of peace. Imagine that moment, a long journey complete, and a gentle goddess smiling, saying, "Rest now. You have come home." In every season, in every heart, her calm was a golden thread. Where there was sorrow, she was laughter. Where there was fear, she was comfort. Where there was emptiness, she was fullness. And so her name lived not only in temples, but in stories whispered by families at night, in songs sung by workers in the fields, in the laughter of children running along the riverbanks. Now, let the sound of her presence linger here, a quiet harp in the distance, a soft drum, steady as a heartbeat, the gentle rattle of the sistrum like sunlight caught in silver. And above, the stars look down, calm and endless. Breathe with the rhythm of her dance. Feel the softness of her embrace. Know that joy can be gentle, that laughter can be healing, that love can be as simple as cool shade and shared song. Let us drift onward now, through the sands of night, toward the river that carries us to rest. Hathor's golden calm remains, a lantern in the heart, and as your breath softens, as the stars return to their places, you are safe. You are held. You are at peace. The night is quiet. The stars lean over the ancient city, their silver light soft upon tiled roofs and stone streets. The Tiber River flows slowly, its surface calm as glass, carrying with it the memory of centuries. Beneath the watch of the hills, within the sacred heart of Rome, a flame glows gently. It does not waver. It does not fade. It burns with steady light, as it has for generations. This is the eternal flame of Vesta, kept alive by the tender hands of the Vestal virgins. In a marble temple, round as the circle of the sky, the fire rests at its center. The walls are cool, pale, and smooth, their surface lit by the glow of the sacred blaze. There are no windows here, only open air above, where smoke drifts upward like a prayer and mingles with the stars. Around this fire move the guardians of silence, the Vestal virgins, dressed in pure white, their veils falling softly over their shoulders. They step with calm grace, their faces serene, their eyes lowered in quiet devotion. Each movement is gentle, as though time itself slows in their presence. The people of Rome believed this fire was the life of their city. As long as it burned, the city would stand. If it ever died, fear would grow and balance would falter. So the Vestals watched it day and night, their devotion a shield against chaos. No storm, no neglect, no passing of years was allowed to touch this flame. They were chosen as children. At a young age, they left their families and entered the service of Vesta. For 30 years, they belonged to the flame. The first decade they spent learning the prayers, the rituals, the ways of tending fire. The second decade they spent in service, feeding the fire, carrying water, keeping the temple pure. The third decade they spent teaching, passing their wisdom to the younger ones, so that the circle of care never broke. It was not an easy vow. It was a path of silence, a life removed from ordinary joys. But within it, there was stillness. There was meaning. There was the soft strength of discipline. Imagine their temple in the still hours before dawn. The city sleeps. The markets are silent. Only the faint sound of the river moves through the night. Inside, the fire glows, casting golden light across the marble floor. A Vestal stands watch, her hands folded before her. The light flickers across her face, but her expression remains calm, like a lake undisturbed by wind. She listens not for noise, but for the quiet voice within. The silence is not empty. It is full of memory, full of prayer, full of the deep hum of eternity. The Vestals were honored in their time. They were given seats of dignity at festivals. They moved through the city untouched, their presence a blessing. When one passed, people lowered their voices, for she carried the sanctity of fire within her. And yet, they also lived with great weight. The vow was strict. Purity was demanded. Their role was not only to guard the flame, but to embody it. To be steady, bright, untouchable. The world expected perfection, and so, each day, they turned inward, drawing strength from silence itself. The flame they tended was not ordinary fire. It was kindled only once, from the rays of the sun, drawn down with sacred mirrors. Its light was the light of heaven itself. To feed it, they used special wood, cut with care, offered with reverence. And as they tended it, their minds were to be as calm as the flame. Not restless, not loud, but steady, breathing, eternal. Many saw their devotion as a symbol. The outer fire was Rome's strength, but the inner fire was the human spirit. Like the Vestals, one must guard it, with quiet, with care, with the discipline of thought. For when the inner fire grows neglected, darkness enters. But when it is fed, even gently, it glows without end. Imagine standing before that sacred fire now. Its warmth reaches outward but does not scorch. Its glow flickers softly, like the rhythm of breath. The room smells faintly of cedar and ash, of earth and sun. The flames rise and fall like gentle waves, never hurried, never forced. The Vestal beside it moves closer. She lays fresh wood upon the coals. The fire sighs, then brightens, its glow painting her veil with golden light. Her hands move slowly, with reverence, with calm precision, and then she steps back, folds her hands, and returns to stillness. For them, silence was not loneliness. It was presence. In silence, they felt the world breathe. They felt the pulse of the city, the murmur of the river, the eternal watch of the stars. To tend the flame was to listen deeply, not only to the fire, but to the life hidden within all things. The stories tell that the Vestals, though bound to devotion, were not imprisoned. They were honored. They walked in processions, their white veils catching sunlight. They poured libations at sacred feasts, and when they prayed, their words carried weight, for people believed their purity gave their voices power. But their greatest gift was unseen. It was the example they set. By tending flame with devotion, they reminded all who watched that care, patience, and discipline are not small things. They are the roots of peace. Let your mind rest with them now. Picture the circle of their temple, the fire glowing at its heart. Around it, white-veiled figures move with gentle rhythm. They step in silence. They bow their heads. They breathe in unison, their stillness a form of prayer. The fire burns on. Not fierce, not wild. Just steady, alive, eternal. A mirror of your own inner flame. Outside, the night deepens. The streets of Rome rest in shadow. The moon passes slowly overhead. But here in the temple, time feels different. The flame does not rush. The guardians do not hurry. All is slow, all is calm, all is safe. Remember the meaning of their work. It was not only for Rome, it was for the heart. Each of us carries a small flame inside, a fire of spirit, a fire of love, a fire of hope. It must be tended gently. It must be given space and silence and care. And in that care, it grows steady. Now the night drifts on. The flame still glows. The Vestals still watch. Their discipline is calm, their devotion unbroken. They remind us that silence is not emptiness, but fullness. That discipline is not harshness, but peace. That fire, when tended with love, burns without end. So let us drift onward now, like smoke rising softly into the sky. The eternal flame still shines. It steadies the heart. It guides the spirit. And as the stars return to their silent places above, you too may rest, steady, calm, and safe. The night deepens. A hush moves across the world, like silk being drawn over the sky. The stars shimmer, patient and timeless. The moon hangs in stillness, its pale glow touching rivers, forests, and fields. And far to the east, where incense drifts through quiet temples, a story waits to be told. It is the story of Shakti, the cosmic feminine power, not apart from creation, but the very breath of it. She is the rhythm of wind in the trees, the fire in the hearth, the pulse of a heart, the song of oceans. She is life itself. Imagine for a moment the universe as a great endless ocean. Its waters are dark, stretching far beyond sight. Within it, all things are carried. The stars float like golden lotus blossoms, opening slowly, one by one. The earth turns like a pearl, glistening in soft light, and moving through it all is a current, a living force, gentle yet unending. This current is Shakti. She is not a goddess who stands apart, holding power in her hands. She is the power. She is movement. She is change. She is the invisible tide that lifts the bird in flight, that pushes the river to the sea, that draws a sprout up toward the sun. Without her, all would fall silent. With her, all things breathe. In the ancient songs of India, the sages spoke of her in many forms, sometimes as Durga, riding a lion, fierce yet radiant, protecting the world from harm, sometimes as Parvati, gentle and steady, the quiet flame of love beside Shiva, sometimes as Kali, the dark mother, dancing through endings so that beginnings may come. But always, she is Shakti, one essence, flowing into many shapes, like water poured into different vessels. Picture a temple beneath the twilight sky. Its stone steps are worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Lanterns burn low, their flames swaying like fireflies in the breeze. Inside, the air is warm with incense. A bell rings slowly, its tone deep and round, spreading calm through every corner. At the center stands an image of the goddess. Her eyes are wide, not fierce but all-seeing, like the gaze of the night sky. Her hands are open, one offering blessing, one holding protection. But beyond the stone, beyond the form, she is more. She is the very breath of the temple itself. The echo of the bell, the scent of smoke, the silence between each heartbeat, all of it is her. In old tales, it was said that the gods themselves were powerless without her. Shiva, the still one, was pure potential, but unmoving, like a seed buried in the soil. Shakti was the force that made him flower. She was the spark of energy that turned silence into sound, stone into dance, dream into birth. Without her, creation is only stillness. With her, the world turns. Think of the body you rest within, the steady beat of the heart, the rise and fall of the chest, the warmth flowing through veins, the quiet work of breath. All of this is Shakti. She does not live far away, hidden in temples or mountains. She lives here, in the small flame of your life, in every motion, in every breath. She is the laughter of children, the strength of roots pushing through stone, the hush of waves folding against the shore. Wherever there is rhythm, there is Shakti. Wherever there is change, there is Shakti. Wherever there is life, there is Shakti. In the still hours before dawn, the ancients would chant her names, not to call her from afar, but to awaken to her presence already here. Each name was like a note, soft and steady, a reminder that the universe itself is alive. They sang of her as mother, as guide, as fierce defender, as gentle hand. She was one, yet many. Formless, yet within all forms. Imagine her as a river. The river begins high in the mountains, as a thin, silver thread born from melting snow. It flows downward, gathering strength, widening as it moves. It carries stones, it nourishes fields, it feeds forests, it gives drink to all who live beside it. And at last it joins the sea, becoming vast, becoming endless. This river is Shakti, moving, nourishing, never still, never lost, always flowing, always returning. Sometimes her energy is gentle, like the light of dawn touching the earth. Other times it is fierce, like a storm sweeping across the plains. But whether soft or strong, it is always her, the pulse of existence, the dance of life, and like all dances, it carries both stillness and motion. The stillness of the drum before it strikes, the motion of the rhythm when it begins. Together they form the song. Together they form the whole. To rest in Shakti is to rest in the knowing that life itself holds you. You are not separate from the great current. You are carried within it, like a leaf upon water, like a star within the night. The same energy that turns galaxies moves gently through you now. The same force that blossoms flowers softens your breath, slows your heart, guides you toward rest. And so, let the image of Shakti rest softly in your mind, not only as a goddess in distant lands, but as the presence around you now. She is the warmth of your blanket. She is the hush of the night outside your window. She is the steady rhythm of your breath. She is the peace settling in your body. You do not need to reach for her. You are already within her. She holds you as the earth holds the seed. She carries you as the ocean carries the wave. She breathes through you, soft and unending, as you drift toward sleep. The night grows deeper. The stars gleam gently. The world grows quiet, wrapped in her presence. Shakti, the cosmic feminine, the heartbeat of existence, continues to flow. Through sky, through earth, through you. Now rest, as the river of her power carries you. Now drift as her energy cradles you. Now sleep, as the stars return to their silent watch, and Shakti whispers gently through the night. The night is hushed. The moon hangs low, its silver light resting upon quiet waters. The sea is calm, its surface smooth as glass. Only the slow breath of the tide remains, moving in and out, like the rhythm of sleep itself. It is in this stillness that an ancient story rises, a story born from foam, from water, from light. It is the story of Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, goddess of longing, goddess of connection. Long ago, when the sea was both cradle and mystery, a wave lifted itself into the sky. From the crest of that wave, foam gathered and shimmered. The foam swirled, soft as milk, bright as moonlight. From its depths, a form began to bloom, slowly, gently, a figure emerged. She was radiant, but not blinding. Her glow was like dawn spreading across the horizon, warm, tender, full of promise. This was Aphrodite. The sea itself had given birth to her, and so the tide became her first lullaby. Every ripple sang her name. Every drop of salt water held her reflection. Imagine her rising upon the waves. The foam cradles her as if she were a dream just awakening. A breeze touches her hair, carrying with it the fragrance of blossoms that have not yet bloomed. The world pauses to receive her. Birds circle above, their wings painted in soft light. The waters shine beneath her, as though the ocean itself were smiling. And in that moment, the world knows something new. Not only strength, not only survival, but the deep, gentle longing for beauty. Aphrodite is often thought of as passion, as fire, as desire in its fiercest form. But beneath the surface, she is something softer. She is the tide that pulls hearts toward one another. She is the quiet wonder that rises when one sees a flower open or hears the hush of music at twilight. She is not only flame, but also the warmth that lingers long after. She is the longing to belong, the yearning to be seen, the wish to be touched not only by hands, but by spirit. Picture a grove by the sea. Olive trees stretch their arms toward the sky. The earth is soft with moss. Aphrodite walks here, her feet silent upon the grass. The air stirs gently as she passes. Every leaf seems to lean toward her. Every bird pauses its song, listening. She bends to touch the water of a small spring. Her hand brushes its surface. Ripples spread outward, carrying her reflection into the world. This is her gift. Where she touches, connection grows. Where she lingers, hearts remember what it means to be whole. In the old tales, the gods themselves were moved by her presence. Some were drawn to her beauty, others to her power. But deeper still was the way she reminded all beings that they were not alone, that within each spirit was a longing to meet another spirit, that within each soul was a tide, moving always, seeking always. Desire in her hands is not wild hunger. It is the tide itself, steady, endless, pulling gently. It is the current that brings driftwood together upon the shore, that draws two stars into orbit, that pulls hearts closer, even in silence. Her desire is not to consume. It is to weave, to join, to remind all living things that beauty exists not in one alone, but in the meeting of two, in the bond between many, in the shared gaze, the shared breath, the shared life. Aphrodite is in the soft tide that brushes your feet at the shore. She is in the warmth of a hand resting in another. She is in the hush between notes of a song, where silence becomes sweetness. She is in the eyes that meet across a quiet room, where words are not needed. She is not distant. She is here. Her presence lingers in every moment of tenderness. Think now of the sea once more. The tide comes in, the tide drifts back. Each wave carries something away. Each wave brings something new. This is the rhythm of Aphrodite. Not to cling, not to hold too tightly, but to move, to flow, to let beauty come and go, always returning, always renewing. Her gift is not to still the tide, but to remind us to rest upon it, to be carried, to be soothed. In her temples the air was filled with flowers. Roses opened their soft petals, offering fragrance to the sky. Candles glowed like stars, their flames flickering gently, never hurried. The sound of water trickled through stone fountains, singing a soft lullaby to those who gathered. The people did not only pray for love, they prayed for connection, for harmony, for beauty to touch their lives the way sunlight touches leaves. Even now, in quiet moments, Aphrodite moves among us. She is in the laughter that rises between friends. She is in the tear that falls when beauty overwhelms the heart. She is in the gentle ache that reminds us we are alive, longing, reaching. She is the tide, never ceasing, ever soft. And so, as you lie here in stillness, you may feel her presence too. The rhythm of your breath is like the tide, in and out, soft and steady. The warmth that fills your body is her gift of connection, a reminder that life itself is a form of love. Every heartbeat is a wave upon the shore. Every breath is the sea foam rising. Every moment of rest is the touch of Aphrodite, whispering of beauty, whispering of peace. Let the sea carry you now. Let the tide rock you gently. Feel the water rise, then fall. Feel yourself drifting as if held by the ocean's arms. The night grows softer. The stars above watch silently. The goddess of the tide moves around you, her presence as calm as the moon's reflection upon water. Rest now. Rest in the tide of Aphrodite. Rest in her longing, her beauty, her gift of gentle connection. The sea foam still glimmers, the waves still breathe, and you, like all things, are held within her rhythm. Now drift onward, now rest, as the stars return, as the tide carries you deeper into sleep. The night is hushed, and the stars gleam faintly above a darkened forest. The moon's pale light touches the earth like soft silver dust. In the stillness, there is the quiet rustle of leaves, gentle, delicate, like whispers carried on the breath of the wind. Here lies Dodona, a sacred grove, old even in the days of ancient Greece. It is not a place of stone, nor of mighty pillars, but of trees. An oak stands at the heart, its branches wide, its roots deep. The people believed that Zeus himself spoke through the oak's leaves. The grove was silent. No loud chants, no clamor of drums, no echoing hymns. Only the soft sigh of the wind passing through branches. Only the faint creak of bark beneath the weight of time. And within this stillness, a voice was found. Women served here, the oracles of Dodona. They sat in watchful calm, their ears open to the language of the leaves. Every murmur of the breeze, every stirring in the branches was received as a message. It was said that the voice of the divine was not thunder, but whisper. Imagine the scene. A traveler approaches the grove, uncertain, weary. Perhaps they have come from far away, carrying questions heavy in the heart. The path is soft with fallen leaves. The air carries the scent of earth and bark. The traveler pauses at the edge of the grove, listening, as though the forest itself were breathing. They kneel upon the ground, resting near the ancient oak. The oracles are there, their faces calm, their eyes lowered, their ears attuned to every sound. The leaves above stir gently. The rustle is like a secret language, like the softest song. The oracles listen. They do not rush. They do not force meaning. They wait until the breeze carries what must be heard. And then, with words simple and clear, they offer the message. A single phrase, a single image is given, and the seeker feels lighter, as if the burden of choice is now shared with the divine. It is said that Zeus, king of the sky, needed no thunder here. Instead, he let his voice be carried in the wind. The oak was his mouthpiece, its leaves his tongue. And in that softness, humans and gods drew near. How different from storms and fire, from temples of marble and gold. Here, the sacred was found in the ordinary, in the touch of air upon skin, in the shiver of branches at twilight, in the simple act of listening. For those who came to Dodona, it was not only the answers that healed them. It was the silence itself, the waiting, the sense of presence in every sound of nature. They came burdened with questions, but they left with something deeper, a reminder that the divine was not always beyond, but near, woven into the quiet moments of the earth itself. Picture the oracles at dusk. The sky fades to violet. Birdsong grows faint. The oak stands tall, its leaves whispering in the evening breeze. The women sit in silence, their robes gathered around them, their hands resting still. They are not hurried. They are not restless. They breathe with the rhythm of the grove. They listen with their whole being. Every rustle, every sigh, every faint trembling of the branches is received with reverence. This is not the noise of chance. This is the speech of gods. Even the softest flutter can carry wisdom. The people believed that to listen well was itself a sacred act, to still the mind, to quiet the heart, to hear what is often missed. It was not a matter of commanding the divine, but of opening to it, not a matter of demanding answers, but of accepting whispers. This is why Dodona was holy. It taught the people that revelation may come gently, that divinity does not always strike, but may instead arrive like the hush of leaves in the night. In your own heart there is such a grove, a place of stillness, where thoughts drift like leaves and the soul listens for something deeper. The oracles remind us that wisdom is often quiet, that the answers we seek are not always given in thunder, but in the faint brush of wind across our spirit. When you lie in silence, when you let the world fall away, you may hear your own leaves stirring. You may sense the gentle voice that speaks without sound. Imagine yourself now beneath that oak. The night air is cool. The stars shimmer faintly through the branches. The leaves murmur above you, soft and unhurried. The sound is steady, like a lullaby. You breathe slowly, in rhythm with the grove. A faint breeze drifts through, touching your face, moving your hair. It feels like a hand, gentle and kind. It carries no fear, only calm. In that touch, there is a message. Not in words, but in peace itself. The grove remains eternal in memory. Though empires fall, though temples crumble, the wind still speaks through leaves. The oak still stands in many places, its branches sheltering, its whispers guiding. The oracles are gone, their voices silent. But the lesson they carried remains: to listen, to be still, to hear the sacred in the smallest breath of air. Now the grove grows dim. The moon drifts higher. The oracles close their eyes. The leaves above grow quiet, resting until morning. The air is cool, the ground soft, the night peaceful. Let the whispers fade now. Let your own breath become the gentle wind. Let your spirit rest beneath the oak, safe, sheltered, calm. Rest now as the oracles rest. Rest in the hush of Dodona. Rest in the voice of the leaves, carrying dreams upon their sound. The stars are watching. The night is kind. And you drift ever deeper upon the breeze. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return, as the whispers of Dodona carry you into sleep. Night gathers softly over the mountains. The air is thin, clear, and touched by the cool hush of high altitudes. The last shades of sunset linger on the snowy peaks, painted in rose and violet light. Clouds drift slowly like great white sails carrying the day away. Beneath this quiet sky, the world grows still. It is here, in these vast and open heavens, that the presence of the Dakinis is felt. They are the sky dancers, the women of air and flame, carrying wisdom on wings unseen. Not bound by earth, not weighed by fear, they glide through the spaciousness of the mind, reminding all who listen that freedom begins with letting go. The night deepens. A hush rests on the valleys, and prayer flags whisper in the gentle wind. You may imagine yourself standing at the edge of a high plateau. The stars are beginning to appear. Each one glimmers like a silver bell, ringing softly across the silence. The air tastes of pine and snowmelt, pure and untouched. Then, in the quiet, you sense them, not as figures of flesh, but as movements of energy. Glimpses of light, sudden laughter in the wind, the soft sound of silk against air. The Dakinis are near. They have always been near. In Tibetan thought, they are more than spirits. They are the feminine principle of wisdom, fierce yet compassionate, playful yet deeply profound. They remind the wandering soul that to dance with life is to be free. Their presence begins like a dream, a flicker of movement at the corner of vision, a shift in the clouds that seems too graceful to be chance, a soft voice without words, telling you to breathe, to release, to rise. The ancients said the Dakinis live in the sky because the sky itself is boundless. It has no walls, no chains, no edges. It is as endless as the mind, as vast as the soul. To look up at the stars is to remember what is limitless within. You may picture them now, figures of light adorned with flowing scarves that stream like comets across the night. Their steps leave no mark, for they are dancers of space. Their rhythm is the rhythm of the wind. Their music is silence, and yet it stirs the heart as deeply as any song. One Dakini draws near. She is bright as a flame, yet gentle as moonlight. Her eyes reflect the stars. In her presence, fear begins to soften, like frost beneath the rising sun. She carries no burden. She invites you to let yours go as well. She moves as though gravity has no hold. With a turn, she dissolves into 1,000 sparkles of starlight. With a breath, she returns, whole again, her laughter echoing like water over stone. In her dance, she shows that nothing is fixed, nothing is trapped. All things may transform. She does not speak with words, but the lesson is clear. Freedom is not found by clinging, but by releasing. To let go is not to lose, but to fly. You drift higher now in imagination. The plateau falls away. The mountains fade into shadow, and you are lifted into the vast night sky. The Dakinis surround you, circling like birds, their movements weaving patterns that the stars themselves seem to follow. Their dance is a teaching. Each step is a gesture of freedom. Each turn is a reminder that life too can be light. They do not struggle, for they are not bound. They simply move with the wind, trusting its currents, trusting the endless sky. In this way, they guide seekers. They show how wisdom is not heavy, not hard, but soft as the breeze, clear as the open air. To carry wisdom is to travel without fear. The sky grows deeper, darker, filled with countless stars. The Dakinis lift their arms, and for a moment the heavens themselves seem to respond. Galaxies turn with their rhythm. Constellations bend in their flowing arcs. It is a cosmic dance, endless and eternal. And within this vastness, the human soul feels both small and infinite. Small because the stars are so many. Infinite because the same space lives inside the mind. The dakinis laugh again, a sound like silver chimes. It carries no sharpness, no demand. It is laughter born of freedom, reminding you that even the soul can be playful. Even in wisdom there is joy. Far below, rivers wind through the dark valleys. The world sleeps. Yet here, above the mountains, you remain with the sky dancers. Their presence is both fierce and gentle, reminding you that wisdom does not come only through stillness, but through movement as well. They dance, and the stars shimmer. They pause, and the silence deepens. Both are part of the teaching. Stillness and motion, silence and sound, gravity and air, all are woven together. To live freely is to move between them with grace. A second dakini steps forward. Her form glows like the pale moon. She carries a small drum, round and simple. As she strikes it, the beat is soft, steady, like the pulse of the earth. The rhythm draws you into a slower breath, a calmer heartbeat. It is not a command, but an invitation. The drumbeat says, "Here is the rhythm of the universe. Slow, steady, endless. You are safe within it." The dakinis circle again, their scarves trailing like comets. You drift among them, lighter than air. The fears that once weighed on the heart dissolve, falling away like stones dropped into a bottomless sea. In their place, there is only ease. You realize that fear was never as solid as it seemed. Like clouds, it can pass. Like mist, it can clear. The dakinis show this truth not by words, but by their dance, by their effortless movements across the sky. They do not grasp. They do not hold. They open their hands and all flows freely. This is their wisdom, that freedom is always possible because nothing is fixed forever. Time itself feels slower now. Each moment expands like a horizon. Each breath feels as wide as the heavens. The dakinis draw you deeper into their world, where the edges of self begin to blur, where the mind grows quiet, open, endless. Perhaps this is what liberation feels like. Not escape, but openness. Not running away, but rising into vastness. The stars continue their shining dance. The wind hums like a hymn through the silence. The dakinis bow, not with solemnity, but with a playful grace, as though to say, life itself is a dance. Do not forget to move lightly. Their forms begin to dissolve, becoming part of the night once more. The sky absorbs their radiance, though the air still feels touched by their presence. The wind still carries their laughter, soft and distant like bells far away. You drift gently downward now, back toward the earth, though the lesson remains. The freedom of the sky lingers in the breath, in the heart. The dakinis have shown the way, not with commandments, but with gestures of air and light. Back on the quiet plateau, beneath the stars, the world feels gentler, safer. The prayer flags rustle again in the mountain wind, carrying blessings into the night. The story closes as softly as it began. The sky remains vast, endless, filled with starlight. The dakinis have vanished into its depths, yet their dance continues, hidden in the patterns of the wind, the shimmer of the constellations. You may rest now, knowing their wisdom flows quietly through the night. Fear has no weight here. The spirit is free to breathe, to open, to drift. Let the mind rest in this spacious sky. Let the body soften into stillness. The stars will keep watch, and the dakinis will dance on unseen, carrying their freedom through the endless heavens. Now drift onward, and let sleep take you as gently as a feather falling into air. Twilight drapes the hills of Italy in soft violet tones. The sun has gone, leaving only a faint glow on the horizon, where the last embers of day sink into silence. A hush settles across the valleys, where olive trees stand still and small streams sing their quiet songs. The air is mild, carrying the scent of earth and stone warmed by the day. In this serene landscape, the Sibyls once spoke. Voices of mystery, voices of calm. They were not loud prophets. They did not thunder from mountaintops. Instead, their words came like water, flowing gently, shaping the mind not with force, but with rhythm. They sang of futures unseen, of truths that moved like shadows through time. Yet those who listened often found comfort, for the Sibyls' voices carried the softness of poetry, the patience of streams, the music of eternity. Imagine a cave at the edge of a forest. Its entrance is wide, yet shaded by ivy and moss. Within, the air is cool and hushed, like the inside of a great ear pressed close to the earth itself. This was the dwelling of a Sibyl, a woman whose spirit stretched beyond ordinary sight. Kings would come weary from battle. Farmers would come carrying questions of rain and harvest. Pilgrims would come simply to hear her words flow like song. Her voice did not rush. It rose and fell with the ease of a river current. Each syllable lingered, stretching out like ripples across still water. Even if the meaning was not clear, the sound itself brought peace. To hear her was to feel the world slow down, to remember that time itself moves like a stream, never hurried, never grasping, always flowing onward. In the quiet cave, torches glowed against stone walls, their light dancing like small suns. Shadows flickered as she spoke, each word appearing to take form in the firelight. Some said her prophecies came from Apollo, the radiant god of vision and music. Others said they rose from the earth itself, carried on breath, lifted from soil and root. But to those who listened, the source mattered less than the sound. Her words could calm a troubled mind. A soldier with shaking hands would leave with peace in his heart. A ruler anxious over tomorrow would walk away with his brow softened, his spirit lighter. The Sibyl's gift was not only prophecy, but presence, the way her voice seemed to carry listeners into a dream where all was spacious and safe. You may imagine sitting within that cave now, the stone floor cool beneath you, the torchlight gentle on the walls. Outside, the night gathers slowly. A soft wind hums through the trees at the entrance. You close your eyes, and the Sibyl begins to sing. Her words are not commands, not sharp or stern. They are soft, like verses of a lullaby. They do not need to be fully understood. Their power lies in their flow, their rhythm, the way they carry the heart like a small boat across wide waters. Her song might say, "The river knows where it will go. The tree knows how to grow. You too will find your way, in time, in ease." Many spoke of how the Sibyl's voice resembled the earth in spring. It could rise with the joy of birds at dawn or descend into a hush as deep as roots buried in soil. Her tone was gentle, but it carried a strength that came not from force, but from harmony. She did not need to explain the future in detail. She painted it instead, in colors of sound, in shapes of rhythm. A wanderer might hear her speak of a long road leading home, and though the meaning was not clear, the heart would feel steadier, soothed by the promise that even the longest road has an end. Legends tell of scrolls filled with her verses, lines written in flowing patterns, as if poetry itself was the shape of truth. The scrolls were treasured not just for their meaning, but for their beauty. Like the patterns of waves or the symmetry of leaves, the Sibyl's words reminded those who read them that life carries rhythm, and rhythm brings peace. Even now, her presence lingers in memory. The hills of Italy still hold whispers of her song. When the wind passes through olive groves at dusk, it carries a music not unlike her voice, a gentle cadence, ancient and soothing, guiding the listener toward rest. Her role was not to remove uncertainty, but to soften it. She did not erase doubt, but transformed it into wonder. When a pilgrim asked, "What awaits me?" she would answer in images, perhaps of a bird in flight or a seed waiting in dark soil. These images did not demand fear or worry. They invited patience. They invited trust. In this way, the Sibyl became a mirror of the natural world. Just as night always yields to morning, just as winter folds into spring, so too would the soul find its way. Her gift was to remind others that life itself holds wisdom if one listens with a quiet heart. Close your eyes now and listen. Hear the echo of her song across time. The cave, the torches, the stone, the soft hum of wind, all remain alive in memory. Her voice floats within it, low and steady, gentle as the tide. She whispers of rivers flowing endlessly to the sea. She whispers of stars keeping watch through the dark. She whispers of journeys not yet taken but already blessed. Each phrase is a slow breath, guiding your own breathing, carrying you deeper into stillness. And so the Sibyl remains not only a figure of myth, but a guide for the soul. She teaches that the unknown need not be frightening. It can be soft, like twilight, like the unfolding of a dream. Her prophecies soothe because they do not bind. They release, they open, they drift. Even now, as you rest, her words may flow through you. They remind you that time moves gently, that the future will unfold like petals in spring, with no need for rush, with no need for fear. The night outside grows deeper. The stars are brighter, like silver seeds scattered across the dark sky. Within the cave, the torches burn lower, their light softer, their glow steady as a heartbeat. The Sibyl's voice lingers, then fades, leaving behind only calm silence. You are safe within this silence. The future is not a storm, but a gentle sea. The path ahead is not sharp stone, but soft earth. Rest within this truth. Let the rhythm of her voice continue in memory, carrying you deeper into peace. Now, let the Sibyl's gentle prophecies drift into the quiet of your own dream. Let them become whispers in the background of your breath, steady and soothing. Like kings and pilgrims long ago, you may rest in her song. You may trust the rhythm of the night, and as the stars return overhead, you may release the day. Drift onward into stillness. Drift onward into sleep. The northern sky stretches wide, painted in silver twilight. A hush lies over the land. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of pine and snow. Far above, soft curtains of green and violet light shimmer, the dance of the aurora, drifting like silken veils across the heavens. Here, in this quiet world of frost and fire, of mountain and sea, the presence of Freya is felt. She is the Golden One of the North, a goddess of love, beauty, and tender strength. Her name, when whispered in stillness, feels like the warmth of a flame cradled in cold hands. Freya is not only the goddess of passion, but also of courage. In her beauty and bravery walk together. She teaches that even where winters are long and winds are fierce, the heart may bloom like a rose in snow. The old stories say she rode across the sky in a chariot drawn by cats. Not ordinary cats, but great shining creatures, their eyes gleaming like polished amber. Their paws were soft as mist, yet swift as storm. Wherever they passed, the air itself grew lighter, as though touched by her grace. Her hall was called Folkvanger, a wide meadow where the spirits of warriors rested after life's battles. She chose half of them herself, not only the strongest, but also the tender, the faithful, the kind. In her care they found peace. In her fields, courage and compassion were honored side by side. Her cloak, they said, was woven from falcon feathers. When she wore it, she could soar across the skies, swift and free. To see her move was to feel the weight of fear fall away, replaced by the lightness of flight. The north is not always gentle. The seas rise with storms. The forests hold silence deep as night. The winters stretch long, testing every heart. Yet Freya shines here, a reminder that warmth belongs even to the coldest lands. She is the golden thread in the fabric of the north, the glimmer on frost, the blush of dawn after endless night, the love that steadies the soul when the world feels sharp and unyielding. Her name means lady, yet her power is not soft in weakness. It is soft in strength. Her love is not fragile. It is fierce, radiant, and enduring. It tells us that tenderness does not falter in harshness, but grows brighter within it. Close your eyes and drift into her world. Imagine a vast meadow under northern stars. The grass glimmers with frost, each blade shining like silver in the moonlight. In the distance, mountains stand tall, their peaks wrapped in snow, their silence deep as ancient memory. And there, among the fields, you see her. Freya walks slowly, her golden hair flowing like a river of light. Her eyes carry the gentleness of dawn, yet also the courage of fire. Around her, the air feels calm, as though even the night itself pauses to listen. She bends to touch the frost-laden grass, and it glows faintly, as though warmed by her hand. She smiles, and her smile carries the promise that no winter is endless, no night without stars. Freya's gifts are many. She rules over love, not only the desire of bodies, but the quiet longing of hearts. She tends beauty, not only the glow of faces, but the radiance of spirit. She brings magic, not only spells and charms, but the deeper enchantment of hope itself. Her tears, the stories say, fall as gold upon the earth. When sorrow touched her, she did not hide it. She wept, and from her weeping came treasure, drops of shining amber, pieces of sun hardened into stone. In this way she taught that grief too can carry beauty, that even sadness may become a gift, golden in its own quiet way. In the halls of the gods, she was beloved and honored, yet she was also independent, standing firm, never bound by what others demanded of her. She chose her path with her own will. She was sought by giants, by kings, by all who wished to claim her beauty. But Freya could not be claimed. She was free as the falcon, as untouchable as the northern wind. Her freedom was her strength. Her love was her gift. Together they made her radiant, not only in legend, but in the memory carried through time. Imagine now her chariot, rolling gently through the night sky. The cats stride with silent paws, their fur glistening like moonlit snow. The stars above tremble softly as she passes, and the aurora bends in graceful arcs to greet her. You drift with her across that wide sky. The air is cold, crisp, filled with the scent of ice and pine. Yet beside her you feel no chill. Her presence is a hearth fire glowing within, steady and golden. She does not speak, yet you understand. Her silence is a language. It tells you strength and tenderness are one. Love and courage belong together. In the villages of the north, people called her name when they sought love. They prayed to her for beauty, for union, for kindness between hearts. But they also called her in times of battle, when fear pressed close. For they knew she was not only a goddess of passion, but of valor. She chose warriors with the same care she tended lovers. She saw bravery not only in sword and shield, but in loyalty, in devotion, in sacrifice. Her meadow, Folkvanger, was a place of rest. There, those who had given their all found peace under her gaze. And in that peace, their courage lived on, not as fire, but as warmth. Her presence lingers still, not only in myth, but in the symbols of the land. The golden amber washed ashore on northern coasts is said to be her tears. The cats that move silently through villages are her companions. The falcon gliding high above the mountains carries the shadow of her flight. And perhaps most of all, the aurora, the northern lights, shimmer as her veils. Her gowns, her beauty stretched across the heavens. When you see their glow, you feel her nearness. When you watch their dance, you remember her freedom. Now let yourself rest within her story. Picture her golden hair falling softly over her shoulders. Picture her eyes, kind yet strong, like fire that warms rather than burns. Picture the meadow of the afterlife, where warriors lie not in sorrow but in peace, tended by her grace. You drift as though walking through that meadow. The frost does not bite you. The air is cool but calm. Above, the aurora ripples in green and gold, its light brushing the earth like a lullaby. In the distance, Freya moves slowly, and with each step the ground glows faintly. Her presence steadies you. Her story soothes you. She is love. She is beauty. She is courage. The night grows deeper now. The stars shine brighter, like jewels scattered across black velvet skies. The aurora drifts slowly, its colors fading into soft pale green, then into silver, then into quiet darkness. The goddess turns once more, her gaze gentle, her smile radiant. She fades into the night as a dream fades with the dawn, yet her warmth lingers. It glows within, like a flame steady against the cold. Let us drift onward now, carried by her story, soothed by her light. Freya's lesson is simple and soft, that tenderness is not weakness, that love itself is a kind of strength. In her, beauty and bravery are one, and as the northern night stretches wide above you, let that truth cradle you. Let it wrap you in golden warmth. Let it carry you gently into rest. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the aurora fades. Now rest as Freya's golden light drifts softly into your dreams. The night is gentle. The stars are still. The earth breathes quietly beneath a silver sky. The air holds a soft hush, like a veil of silence drawn over mountains. And in that stillness, a sound begins to stir. It is faint, distant, like the pulse of a hidden drum. It comes from the high places where stone temples stand against the horizon, shrines carved into mountain sides, where fires glow faintly and smoke rises in threads toward the heavens. These are the shrines of the Great Mother, the one they call Cybele. She is the ancient mother of all, the one who holds the earth in her arms. Her priestesses gather there, women devoted to her mystery, moving in rhythm beneath the moon. Their steps are soft yet steady. Their hands rise and fall like waves. Around them the air hums with something sacred, something older than the stones themselves. Cybele is the mother of mountains. She is the spirit of wild earth, untamed and eternal. Her throne is the high cliff, her voice the rush of wind through cedar trees. She carries the strength of lions, the patience of rivers, the power of the womb that brings forth life. Those who follow her do not simply worship from afar. They give themselves wholly, body and spirit. They learn the language of rhythm, the wisdom of surrender, the quiet courage of letting go. Her priestesses are the bridge. They are dancers, singers, healers. They move with the beat of the drum until the walls of thought grow thin, until the heart opens, until only the mother remains. You drift closer now into the mountain shrine. Torches flicker against the stone. Shadows dance across the walls, long and slow, like echoes of another world. The floor is covered with soft reeds, fragrant herbs, petals of flowers. The priestesses move in circles. Their garments are light, flowing like water. Their bare feet touch the earth with reverence. Each step is prayer. Each turn is offering. The drum beats slow, steady, like a heartbeat beneath the night sky. Listen, and you can almost hear it. Thrum, thrum, thrum. The sound enters not through the ears, but through the bones, through the blood, through the breath itself. The rhythm does not hurry. It soothes. It cradles. It leads the mind away from thought into the vastness beyond. The Great Mother is not far. She is here, in the silence, in the drum, in the sway of the dancers. Her presence is felt like warmth at the edge of the skin, like a current beneath the surface of the world. The priestesses lift their arms, palms open to the stars. Their faces are calm, eyes half closed. They are not seeking control. They are not striving. They are yielding, surrendering to the pulse of life itself. And as they move, the air thickens with stillness. Time softens. The night grows deep, and the stars themselves seem to lean closer, as if listening. The ancients said that in the presence of Cybele, the mind loosens its chains. The self no longer clings so tightly. Fears dissolve like smoke. Walls of thought melt away. What remains is a vast quiet, a space wide enough for peace to enter. Her priestesses embodied this surrender. They let the rhythm carry them beyond themselves. They let the dance strip away worry and weight. They became as rivers flowing into the sea, as sparks fading into flame. In their devotion, they showed the world that strength is not in grasping, but in yielding. That freedom comes not from control, but from letting go. Now imagine yourself among them. You stand within the circle, the drum echoing through your chest. The torches flicker, their light soft and golden. The scent of cedar, myrrh, and rose drifts in the air. Around you, the dancers move slowly, gracefully, endlessly. You close your eyes and the rhythm carries you. Your breath matches it. Your heart matches it. The line between yourself and the sound begins to blur. The mind grows quiet. Thoughts become lighter, like leaves drifting on a stream. There is no need to hold, no need to resist. The Great Mother is here. Her arms are wide. Her love is deep as the mountains, endless as the sky. In myth, Cybele's chariot was drawn by lions, not tamed beasts but wild and strong. They carried her across the earth, symbols of her untamed spirit. She was never bound by walls or chains. She was vast as the wilderness itself. Her priestesses carried that same wild devotion in their hearts. Their dance was not polished or restrained. It was free, like wind moving through trees, like fire flickering in the night. Their steps spoke of surrender. Their voices rose in chants that echoed against the stone. The chant was simple, steady, like breath. Mother of mountains, Mother of earth, carry us gently. Guide us in birth. Soft voices rose and fell, not loud, but soothing. The words were not for the mind, but for the soul, a lullaby to the spirit. The dance went on through the night. Time dissolved in the rhythm. Stars shifted slowly overhead. Yet within the shrine, the circle of priestesses moved as though outside of time. They did not dance to be seen. They did not sing to be heard. They offered themselves wholly as rivers returned to the sea. To witness them was to witness surrender itself. To stand in their presence was to feel the heart loosen, the body grow lighter, the spirit drift free. Cybele, the Great Mother, does not demand. She invites. She does not bind. She releases. Her love is not narrow, but vast. Her embrace is not fleeting, but eternal. The priestesses knew this. In their surrender, they found not emptiness, but fullness. Not loss, but deep belonging. They became the breath of the mountain, the song of the wind, the flame of the torch, the silence of the stars. And in that merging, there was peace. The night grows deeper now. The drums grow softer, their rhythm like a slow heartbeat. The chants fade into whispers, into breath, into silence. The torches burn lower, their flames curling like tired sighs. The priestesses sit quietly in the circle, their eyes closed, their hands resting gently in their laps. Around them the air is still. The Great Mother is present, not in form, but in feeling, in the calm that fills the chest, in the warmth that lingers, in the peace that settles like dew. The mountain itself seems to breathe. The stones hold the memory of the dance. The earth remembers the surrender. The stars shine softly. witnesses to devotion that never ends. Now rest within this vision. Rest in the circle of the priestesses. Feel the rhythm still echo faintly, like a distant lullaby. Feel the calm of the Great Mother wrapping around you, steady as stone, soft as night. You are safe here. You are held. You are carried by something older than fear, older than time. The mountain keeps watch. The Mother keeps you close. Let us drift onward now. Let the torches fade. Let the drums fall silent. Let the dancers rest. The Great Mother remains, quiet as the stars, vast as the earth. Now rest as the shrine grows still. Now rest as the night deepens. Now rest as the Great Mother's love carries you gently into dreams. The night opens wide, calm and still. The sky above is a deep ocean of stars, each one glowing softly, each one pulsing with quiet life. The air is cool, yet gentle, carrying with it the scent of wild grasses and distant blossoms. There is no sound but the whisper of wind, the hush of breathing earth, the rhythm of your own heart slowing as sleep draws near. Here, in this great expanse of silence, a circle begins to form. It is not a circle of stone, nor a circle of wood. It is a circle of light. One by one sparks gather, glowing brighter than the rest. They are not ordinary stars. They are the eternal ones, the bearers of feminine light, drifting together as if drawn by an unseen hand. They form around you like lanterns at the edge of a dream. Their glow is soft, their presence comforting, as if 1,000 gentle voices hum just beyond hearing. Each spark carries the story of a sacred woman, a goddess, a priestess, a guide. From the northern winds comes a shimmer of gold. It is Freya, the radiant one of the Norse lands. Her light is the warmth of amber, the glimmer of dawn across frost. She carries love and courage in equal measure, showing that tenderness and strength are sisters who walk hand in hand. Near her drifts the silver flame of the Sibyl. Her voice moves like rippling water, calm, unhurried. She speaks in rhythms that soothe the restless mind, words soft as lullabies. Her light is not blinding but gentle, like moonlight on a quiet river. Then comes the glow of the Dakinis, sky dancers of Tibet. Their light is swift, shimmering like wings across the horizon. They remind the soul how to release its weight, how to rise with freedom, how to move with the sky itself. Their brightness is playful yet calm, like stars twinkling through drifting clouds. From the mountains of the ancient world, the priestesses of Cybele arrive. Their glow is earthy, steady, like the ember of a sacred fire. Their light carries the rhythm of drums, the hum of chants, the surrender of those who danced through the night until their spirits touched the Great Mother's embrace. And from farther still, across many lands and ages, more lights drift into the circle. Some are faint, some burn bright, yet all carry the same essence, the eternal feminine, the gentle power that heals, restores, and renews. Each light is different. Each shines with its own color, its own rhythm, its own memory. Yet when they gather, they do not compete, they do not strive. They glow together, forming a constellation of care, a circle of calm. You sit within this circle now, wrapped in their glow. The night sky above becomes a temple roof, endless and serene. The ground beneath is soft, as though woven of moss and dream. Around you the lights sway gently as if dancing in silence. Their presence does not demand. It soothes. Their glow does not blind. It rests. They are here not to test or to teach, but simply to remind you of what has always been true, that gentleness is never lost, that love always returns, that renewal flows quietly, like spring water through the stones. The eternal feminine is not bound to one place, nor one name. It is a river moving through time, wearing many forms. Sometimes it is a goddess, crowned with stars. Sometimes it is a priestess, dancing by firelight. Sometimes it is a whisper inside the human heart, reminding it to soften, to love, to heal. It does not fade. Even when the world grows harsh, even when the nights are long, the light waits, hidden but alive. It rises again and again, just as dawn rises after every night. This is why the circle forms now, around you, in this dream, to remind you that you too carry this light, that within your own chest glows the same eternal flame. The lights drift closer. One by one, they pause before you. Freya's golden warmth wraps around you like a cloak. She offers courage, yet her touch is as soft as a mother's hand. Her message is simple. Tenderness is not weakness, but strength in its purest form. The Sibyl's silver glow lingers at your ear. Though her words are ancient, their rhythm feels familiar. She reminds you that mystery itself can be a comfort, that not all must be known for peace to be found. The dakinis swirl lightly, their light brushing you like feathers. They invite you to let go, to rise above the weight of thought, to drift like sky and cloud. Their laughter is quiet, but healing. The priestesses of Cybele step forward in their earthy glow. You feel the hum of drums in your chest, steady as a heartbeat. They remind you that surrender is not falling, but returning, like water to the sea, like breath to silence. Each light blesses you in silence, not with words, but with presence. And as they do, you feel the circle around you grow stronger, warmer, more serene. Together, they rise, forming a crown of stars above your head. A crown not of power, but of peace. Their lights intertwine, weaving golden threads, silver waves, shimmering sparks, earthy embers, all blending, all soft, all one. It is the eternal feminine gathered in wholeness. Not divided, not distant, but complete. A presence that watches over the world, watches over dreams, watches over you. And as you rest within it, your breath grows slower, your body grows lighter, your thoughts drift like petals on water. The night is deep now. The circle glows steady, calm, eternal. There is no hurry, no need, no demand. Only light, only love, only rest. You are held, as if in the arms of the Great Mother herself. You are safe, as though cradled in the hands of countless gentle spirits. You are part of the circle, part of the constellation, part of the endless feminine light that renews all things. The stars above shimmer softly, as if bowing in reverence. The earth below hums quietly, as if joining the song. Time fades. The circle remains, and within it you find rest. Now let the lights drift slowly back into the heavens. Let them rise, glowing faintly, becoming stars once more. The circle does not end. It simply expands, stretching across the sky so that whenever you look upward, you will see them. You will remember them, and you will know you are never alone. The eternal feminine light shines always, through goddess and priestess, through star and song, through earth and heart. It is the quiet promise that tenderness will return, that love will rise, that renewal will come. Now rest within that promise, rest within that glow. Rest as the stars keep watch, as the circle continues, as the eternal feminine light shines on, forever and forever. Let us drift onward now. Let us drift into silence, into calm, into dreams. Now rest as the eternal feminine light surrounds you. Now rest as the stars return.